So here we have a 7mm Mauser M95 and an 8mm Mauser K98. The bottom one is the Chilean M95. The top one is a Yugoslavian 98 Mauser. Obviously, the Yugo is a lot more complete. Mine was in the middle of being sporterized when I got it, and so I'm going to finish that whole process. But I just wanted to show a few of the similarities and differences between the two rifles while I had them. So between 1895 and 1898, they switched from a 7mm round to an 8mm round, and they added a lot of additional safety features to the rifle. For instance, this is the large ring Mauser, where there's a lot more material right here in the receiver than on the 95, and as well as back here. You're going to see is much more robust, and just helps handle that 8mm round. So here we have the 98 bolt and the 95 bolt, just to show some of the additions they've made between the 2 years. On the bottom side of the bolt, on the 98 they added gas release or pressure release slots in the back, so if you punch through a primer on the 95, all that gas is going to be shot back in your face. Here it's going to be shot down and through the magazine well. They also added additional locking lugs on the 98. On the 95 here we have 1, 2 in the front. 98 has 1, 2, and then an additional one in the back, which is just an I guess an added safety feature. The 95 does have a safety locking lug where the bolt handle goes in front of a piece on the receiver. So here we can see the difference between the bent and the straight bolt. The bent bolt makes it a lot easier to add a scope later. If you have a straight one, when you open your bolt, you're going to hit your scope. I'm not sure if that was done from the factory or done afterward. One big improvement from the M95 bolt to the 98 is the cock on open feature on the 98. When you open the bolt to eject the fired round, the firing pin cocks, where on the 95 the firing pin is only cocked when the bolt is pushed forward and closed when you're chambering the second round. If you don't fire the 95 and you open the bolt, it'll automatically decock itself, where on the 98 it'll stay cocked whether you fire it or not. I feel like this is a pretty big improvement on just the overall handling of the firearm. It makes it a lot easier to manipulate. So looking at these two rifles completely disassembled, there's some interesting similarities and differences. Obviously, cosmetically, my rifle doesn't have any of the wood covers or the barrel bands or anything like that, or the rear sight even. But you can see the magazine wells are very similar. K98 has the locking screws, uses a very similar floor plate and spring as well. Trigger group's almost identical from what I can tell. I don't really want to take it all apart right now. Bolt release is the same. Firing pin looks very similar, although the K98 is a little bit longer. Then there's some other differences up in the rear of the bolt. This is interesting. I wanted to show you. This is how the bolt cocks when it on open. As you open the bolt, it pulls back the firing pin. Those ramps there allow it to cock while it's open, and then it stays cocked until you close it back up. The sear catches it here. Yeah, so this is attached to the firing pin and the spring normally. Just thought that was interesting. That's something that's not on the M95 Mauser. That's a cock on close. One thing on the K98 is these screws are specially designed so they can't back out. Here we have a little screw in the magazine housing. It has a circle cut out of it. That's the diameter of the screw head, so when you screw this in, you line up the notches and turn the screw so the main screw that goes into the receiver can't back out. I have seen a lot where this screw is a normal screw and you have to back it all the way out to remove the receiver screw, but these ones actually have a little cut in them, so you just make a little quarter turn